For me, it was like an outlet where I could really press print on my brain and tell people creatively what I was thinking. I could put it from pen to paper, and then now I could create like this 3D image in my mind, you know, like tell people what I was doing. And it was easy for my mom to buy something for me for Christmas too, or for my birthday. She just used to buy me fabric, and I used to just make my own clothes.
Make your own present.
Yeah.
Here's some fabric. Make your own clothes.
Like Versace, D&G, and then Dior.
Bukari Beppo. So that's what keeps you up at night. You're like, I wonder what King Kamehameha III would be wearing at the Nahoku Hanohano Awards. Belina Mai Kako, welcome to Keep It Aloha, a podcast that keeps it aloha by wearing slippers on your feet when you walk, on your hands when you run, and on your head for half a second when your mom throws it at you every time you're being kolohe. I'm your host Kamaka, and all I gotta say is, if you know, you know. Before we introduce our guest, who has way better fashion sense than I do, I want to let you all know that we have an official website. Head over to keepitaloha.com to check it out and maybe buy some Keep It Aloha merch or join our online community. I also want to remind you to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/kamakadias if you want to support us for as little as $3 a month. You can get some pretty cool perks like some behind the scenes action of my life and this podcast, or an uncut audio version of this podcast before it's even released if you join our $10 a month tier. If supporting us with money isn't for you, but you still love this podcast, please consider leaving us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I read every single review because I appreciate it so much. All right, enough self-promoting. Let's introduce our guest. Our guest today is an all-star fashion designer from the island of Oahu. This Native-Hawaiian third-generation seamstress represented Hawaii on the 13th season of Project Runway, finishing as the second runner-up, and then soon after was selected to compete on the 5th season of Project Runway All Stars, finishing second place. Balancing his cultural soul and flair in high fashion, his work has garnered him a dedicated following, which has led him to dress notable celebrities and influencers. His designs have been featured in publications such as Vogue, Elle, and Harper's Bazaar. In addition to his fashion endeavors, he is actively involved in his local community, supporting charitable causes and mentoring aspiring designers, all while staying true to his commitment to sustainability and ethical fashion practices. He is the founder of a self-named fashion house, the king of the morning star himself. His name is Kini Zamora. Aloha, Kini. Welcome to the podcast here at IDA Studios. How are you doing? I didn't think I'd get to do that.
Did you get that from ChatGPT?
Only a part of it. Recently, I've been ChatGPTing some stuff, but usually I just Google people's name and look for a bio. And then I do some ChatGPT touches on top of it to make it extra fancy.
Oh boy. Just hearing that and like all that past stuff, that's crazy.
Yeah.
To hear all of that. Wow.
You did that.
My God.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy, huh? A lot of my guests, they're always like, wow, that was such an intro. Like,
yeah.
I'm just reading what you've done. Like, that's all it is.
That's some research. That's some good recording.
Well, I like to brag about my guests, and I'm stoked that you're here. We've met a few times just in passing over the last year, and I'm really excited to get to know your story, learn about you a little bit more. I didn't get to watch Project Runway back when it came out when I was growing up, but like I know what you've done. My mom always talks about it. She told me like, hey, you gotta get Kini on at some point. So when I saw you, I was like, hey, I gotta get you on at some point. And now we're here. So let's get into everything because we have a lot to get into and a fun game that we're gonna play later. So I just want to know, where you from, where you grad, and what was it like growing up?
So I'm from Oahu, Hawaii. To be exact, I'm from Liliha. I graduated from McKinley High School. My childhood and growing up, I think it was an amazing childhood. And growing up here in Oahu, so born and raised in town. Then I moved to Kapolei, to my homestead, or my parents' homestead, in 2001. But just growing up, like I think any other local family, I grew up with my cousins, like my brothers and sisters. So every summer we grew up with each other. Christmas break, we grew up with each other. So it was like we were brothers and sisters. Big family, tons of cousins and nieces, nephews, so constantly around the family, every chance that we could have with each other. It was during every break we got dropped off to my grandma's house, or they got dropped off to my grandma's house, and we got to hang out with each other. So just growing up with my family and just having that experience was amazing. And getting to live that life with them was amazing. And my parents raising us in that way to be around family was just great too. My family didn't have much, and growing up in town in Liliha, Ka'uluela, represent Wellas. We didn't have much, so they would take us on excursions every weekend, and that was like our experience. And we experienced Hawaii in that sense. Every weekend we would go to visit our family in Nanakuli and spend the day at the beach, or the weekend at the beach, visit my auntie on that side. And that's how I grew up. It was that's all I knew. Like
chaotic,
yeah,
fun.
like and I never knew anything else. It was beach on the weekends, school during the week, and every summer it was spending time with my family. And that's all I knew growing up till I don't even remember.
Yeah.
And that childhood memory of mine was just amazing. So that was my life growing up.
That's so cool. The image that popped into my head when you said like 8 siblings or cousins and like, hanging out with everybody, I was like, the slippers outside of the house must have been so crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was probably confused, putting on the wrong slippers every time, arguing like, hey, that's mine.
It was always a fight too, because my cousins never wanted to leave or go home. I can just remember like our Christmases was so chaotic. We got like so we used to spend like Christmas Eves with each other, and it was the best time because we had to spend like all day. So our tradition was we opened presents at 12 o'clock at night. So we spent the day before and the day of Christmas Eve with each other, and we would just like you couldn't nail us down into the house. Like we would be outside all day, and you would have to like bribe us to get into the house, to shower, to take a nap, and just to be sitting down waiting for us to open our presents. I think it was the hardest thing, just to keep us in the house. We would always be gallivanting and running around the neighborhood. Like it was pretty crazy. And that was like the best memory of mine, was just to be around my family and my cousins growing up. And I think that's like the biggest inspiration for me into like building my business and building what I wanted to do for the future, was wanting to be around my family constantly. So just knowing that whatever I wanted to do in the future or as an adult, I wanted to be around my family still. So I needed to build a career around that and build this family business. So that was always in my mind, or in the back of my mind too. Which
you've done such a great job of. But I just wanted to touch upon the contrast of you saying, oh, our family, our parents had to force us to come back inside the house and to sit down. I feel like these days it's like parents have to force the kids to go outside and play and just get some sort of sunlight, get off their phones, get off the technology.
Yep.
What different times, right?
We totally different times. I think I'm now telling like my nieces and nephews, like, go outside, like put the phone down, like go have fun, get out of the house. It's so different. Like,
I'm very blessed because I grew up half and half. Half without social media and half with. So I get to see the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But going into your business and how you really got left your mark on the fashion industry over here. How did you end up getting into, making clothes and designing things?
So I started when I was 10 years old. It all started with me, my aunt actually. She wanted to do a sewing class, and she got taught by my grandfather. So this is like the third generation, like family lineage that was passed down. My grandfather used to sew clothes for my aunt, my mom. They didn't have much, so he had to sew a lot of their clothes to go to school and whatnot. So she learned how to sew for my grandfather. And then when she wanted to pass down this information, this knowledge, she pulled all the cousins together. And because we were at their house a lot and we were living with my grandmother and we were always there all the time, she just put together this fun sewing class with all of us. And we thought it was so dangerous because we could deal with a sewing machine and with needles and scissors and all of this. So the first class was so interesting and fun. And we could, do something that we're not supposed to be touching, and we got so excited. We got to sew on the sewing machine. She drew lines on the paper, and we all got to sew with the sewing machine. And then by the second class, she was like, okay, this is the second class, we're going to do it. Nobody wanted to do it. Everybody wanted to go outside and play. And I was the only one okay, this is the second sewing class. And I was the only one there, wanting to learn how to sew. And everybody kind of knew it too, because I was the one that wanted pens and papers for my birthday or anything for Christmas. I was the more artistic one that wanted that kind of stuff for any kind of holiday. And I used to ask my mom for Christmas. So they knew that I was going to go into that route. And for me, it was like an outlet where I could really press print on my brain and tell people creatively what I was thinking. I could put it from pen to paper creatively, and then now I could create this 3D image in my mind, tell people what I was doing. And my aunt really saw that fire inside of me as well too, that, this is the creative side, this is the creative person in the family. And during that time, it was, it was fun for me because I could do something else, not go outside and play. So it was that transition for me. And my cousins still wanted to go outside and play. And I just wanted to do this creative side. And that's where I kind of got this fuel and I put two and two together. Okay, now this is the creative side that I can be and create this business in the future. And if I think forward, I can, create this family business. And if I stick to it, this is something I love to do. And I can, make this something where I can stick around and my family can still be with me throughout adulthood as well, too. But I love doing it. I felt like it was easy for me, or it wasn't anything that was like a task or anything. So
it didn't feel like work.
Yeah, it didn't. And that was just a teaching point too. It wasn't anything that we weren't creating anything at that point. And then I got to create a pair of jams and I went off with that. I think I had 10 or 20 pairs of jam shorts. I used to go to school with them. People know me as wearing the jam shorts when I was a little kid.
Jam boy.
It was elastic waist jam shorts in all different Hawaiian print. That's what I used to go to school in. And it was easy for my mom to buy something for me for Christmas too, for my birthday. She just used to buy me fabric and I used to just make my own clothes.
Make your own present.
Yeah.
Here's some fabric. Make your own clothes.
And that's what kind of sparked my entrepreneur mind too, because when I used to go to school, kids used to see me wearing it and they would want to. So I would kind of sell it on the side as well too, or sell scrunchies or something.
Slanging some clothes back in the days.
But that's kind of the beginning of where I felt my creative side or my career started. Was from my aunt teaching me all of that. And she was taught from my grandfather and then self-taught from there too, reading patterns on how to create stuff. And I knew from there that I needed to complete that training or learn the technical side and put myself through college because my parents couldn't afford college. So through high school, I figured out how am I going to do all of this and how am I going to put myself through college. And I found any way that I could. I did FAFSAs and all of that. And I was the first generation to go through college in my family and had to figure all of that stuff out. And I knew I wanted to complete all of that or complete college or go through college. So I had to do all of that stuff on my own.
That's so amazing that you were kind of the trailblazer for your family to go to college too, learn business, and now I'm guessing that you're able to take care of them, and like you say, you get to work with them and keep them close. I think that's amazing. That's kind of the dream for everybody coming from, a small town or this humble beginnings. Just working your way up and making it, quote unquote. One thing that I really liked that you said was printing your
pressing print on my brain.
Pressing print on your brain.
Yeah.
I never heard it like that. That's such a cool way to express yourself and like to get your ideas, because a lot of people have a hard time expressing themselves and like thinking of something and like putting it on paper. Yeah. Whether that's writing or drawing. I mean, I cannot press print on my brain for any design or whatever. I've always been stuck at stick people. I'm just a terrible drawer. Like, art is my worst subject.
No, but this is like something you can talk to people, and that's like
different type of art. Yeah. Yes, like I'm a writer. I can communicate. So that's my way of printing words onto paper. Yeah. You're printing designs, printing images. Yeah. And that's a different type of skill. But I just thought that was really cool way you said it, pressing print on your brain. Yeah. Yeah.
And like finding that medium for certain people is amazing. And for me, that was like the medium that I could find that to tell people. As creative people, it's so hard just to express what you're thinking in your brain, because there's so much ideas that you want to do or say, but you just don't know how to tell it to people. And it wasn't a way that I could express myself. And when you're going through this, like as a creative person, it's really hard sometimes when you're just like, I have all this information that I need to just tell somebody or do something with it.
Gotta get it out of my brain.
Yeah. I'm sure you go through this when you're trying to write something as well too. For sure. Like I want to tell this story or like write something, but I just don't know what it is, and you just like go for it, and you can just write for like an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just print constantly and waste a bunch of paper. Yeah, I need to print this right off my brain real quick.
Yeah, and now like that's what I do with my team. Is sometimes I just like throw out ideas, and sometimes it's just like a fantasy or just like random stuff that I say out loud, but you just have to kind of just like word vomit of all these things, and it just comes out amazing. You don't know when you're going to use it, but it's just ideas that you just want to say.
For sure, yeah, totally get
and put it out in the universe.
Yeah, I got a bunch of notes in my phone all the time, just random stuff, even just random words that I just think of. But one thing that's really interesting to me is how you got this business acumen, and what really motivated you to go into this path. I mean, you told us the story of how you got into, making designs, but like, why were you so motivated, and how were you able to, get this business side of it? Because not a lot of people really have that. Because even if you have the talent, you have skill for something, the business side is always something that people struggle with. Even for me, I've had to learn so much, and this is just through mentorship and being around other people. But it sounds like you're kind of like a self-starter.
No, yeah, I think for like when people define what an entrepreneur is and what a business person is, there's different definitions for that. You can tell what an entrepreneur is, and for me, what I think of an entrepreneur is someone who is a hustler that can make $100 out of a penny, and that can find money wherever, and find an opportunity out of something. And that's usually somebody who's wasn't privileged, and that can find a business out of something as well too. I think that stems from me not having much, and I needed to create something off of my creativity, or make a business off of my creativity. It was just something rooted in me from the beginning, where it's that cliche saying where, find something you love to do so you never work a day in your life. That was just like instilled in me in my mind when I was really young. I really wanted to make this creative thing that I had into a business, or into something that when I grew up, I wanted to just keep on doing, and make it my life. But it wasn't easy, and it wasn't something that I woke up and did in a day. It was years of trials, tribulations, and experience that I'm still learning till today. And I'm still writing a book in my chapter every single day with learning. I've done multiple jobs, and every job that I've learned, I've learned everything from, or gained all this information from. After graduating from Honolulu Community College with my fashion technology degree, I went to New York and I studied there for about a year, and realized that in FIT, and I realized that the classes that I was taking there was the same things that HCC was teaching. So I realized that I was kind of like wasting my money because I was relearning the things that HCC already taught me. And I was working at a dental office in New York or in Jersey. And then when I came back, I was doing retail, and I learned the whole side of the retail business. So it's all these things that I've kind of learned throughout my life before opening my business, truly opening my business and understanding what all these different parts before even like jumping into it as well. I think all the jobs that I've had, or all the experiences that I've had in my life, I could play that game, two lies and a truth with people, and I would win because the things that I've done, and they wouldn't believe the things that I've gone through or done too. And I think that's what the experiences that you bring to the table whenever you're opening a business as well too.
So did you sell knockoff Gucci's in school? Is that one of your truth or lies?
No, I have bought those before. I have been to Canal Street, and I know exactly where to go. New York was an experience, and I love it.
All the teachers at McKinley High School was like, why are all these kids rocking Gucci these days? Yeah. So you lived in New York for a little bit and came back because you realized like Hawaii has everything I need already. And you kind of already have the skills, the knowledge that you already need as well. And then how did that lead into getting casted for Project Runway?
Yep. So I worked for a retail store here for a couple of years just to learn basically how to run a retail location, because then I knew in the future that with my business I would need to learn and know all of that information. While I was doing that, Project Runway was already being run on television, and I've tried out 3 times already for the show. And going forward, every year, I was like, okay, I'm going to try out one more time. And it was in 2015, I went for it, and I said, okay, this is going to be the last time I'm going to try already. Because if they don't like what I do, then it's pretty much not what they're going to want, because take it or leave it. I basically threw my hands up and I said, this is all I can do, and this is what I'm great at, and this is what I have to offer. And from there is when I pretty much just said, screw it, like whatever, and left it all on camera and said whatever. If they don't want me, they don't want me now, they're never going to want me. And that's when they saw, like, I guess in me, that this is the true me, and this is what the strongest pieces that I have. This is how strong I am as a designer. And it took me 6 times to try out for Project Runway, and I kept on going back. And I took every single time they gave me a critique, I went back and I looked at my collection, and I realized, like, okay, yeah, this isn't what I should take out some stuff, like minimize everything and be stronger at it, and take that criticism and really like go and hone into what my strengths is. And see what was wrong with it. So when I went in, I really looked at my collection, and at that time, I was really strong at denim and construction, and I had a strong suit for design elements, and I was a little bit more over the top, and that's what I sold to them was, this is who I am, and take it or leave it. And that's when they saw it and they casted me for season 13 of Project Runway.
I didn't know that you had to try out so many times just to get on.
And it's all paid by me. It was paid by me. So it's paid by the person.
You had to pay to try out.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is all open casting. So open casting is you have to either fly to the location that they're doing the casting and pay for any types of portfolio information that you have to send. So usually the portfolio is like 15 pages long or 15 pages long, which is all of your information or sketches and photos. So all of that has to be sent over on your own. And it usually has to be couriered over. So it's a little bit more expensive.
Wow.
Yeah. And then if they ask you for a video interview, then you have to fly yourself to wherever it is, which was California was my closest one. So I had to go there, get interviewed, and then they would let you know if you were a finalist or not. So before I even did this, I didn't know what the whole process was as far as what was the titles that you would be to get through to the show. To be in reality TV, there's no book to read, or I didn't know at that time if there was a book to be a reality star.
There's no Kim Kardashian.
No, none of this.
The Kardashians. There was the real world.
Yeah. And at that time, the Google wasn't really big too.
Yeah.
And just to like figure out this whole world, I didn't understand what it was and didn't realize that Project Runway was more of a reality show and then a design competition second. So going in on this, I just thought, I get to show people, look, this Hawaii boy can design like everybody else, and kind of bridging that gap. And that's what I really wanted to tell people was, we don't just wear mu'umu'us, and we can design creative things as well too. And that's the story that I really wanted to tell them. It's like, look at us here. We can do more than that. And going through that whole process, I had to figure it out on my own. Like when they told me, okay, you're a finalist, I was like joyed and I was surprised. I was like, oh my God, yeah, I'm on the show. And then they were like, oh no, you're not yet cast. You're just a finalist. Then I get the call, okay, you're going to be flown to New York, and then you're going to figure out if you're casted onto the show. Then you're a cast member after that. If you're a cast member, then you're on the show. So when I read that I was a cast member, that's when I realized that you're a cast member, meaning you are just there for reality. You know what I mean? Like they make sure you have to fit a role, and they're looking at you as what role that you're going to be placed on the show.
Wow. So do they coach you on that? Like, you gotta act extra Hawaiian, make sure you wear all your floral prints. And
they don't. That's the one thing they don't do, but the production does steer a question into a particular direction. They will, when you're mic'd up, they hear everything. So there's a transcriber that will literally sit behind the scenes and type everything out. So if you just so happen to say something, and this is something I found out after, if you say something, the production team will ask you the question, like, didn't you say this? And I found this out after. I didn't know, but that's why they ask these questions, is like they will really like look into everything that you said. Like, didn't you say this about this person?
And I'm like, you say that Angela was giving you the stink eye when you walked in over there?
But that's how it is. Like, I didn't know all of this, and this process was really quick. I got onto the show within, I think, a month or 6 weeks. I was casted onto the season. So I didn't know, I wasn't really prepared. Here I am like thinking, oh yeah, I want to get onto this TV show. And then when the process was happening, it was within a month that I was like being flown to New York, and we were in production already.
Wow.
So we started filming episode 1, and we were placed, we're mic'd up and we're placed right into competition. And here we go, like 6 weeks we're being filmed and it's done.
Like every single day?
Every day we're being filmed, but it was a challenge every other day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Everybody sees it like every week, but it's almost every other day where I think we only had Sundays off. Technically, we only had Sundays off, but we had to go in for interview days.
Yeah.
And then we started back up on Monday where we get a challenge. Next day, we're eliminated. Challenge again the next day. So it was just like back to back.
Dang. So even when you're resting, you're always thinking of the next thing, some new innovative designs.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's constant.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at what point did you realize, like, wow, I'm on TV. This is crazy.
Well, the one point I can say that I realized, we were in Rome and I made it to the finale. We got everything, like we got the notice that we were going to New York Fashion Week, and we were the top 4 that was going, and they surprised us and they were like, we're going to Rome tomorrow. Like literally inside of me, I was so excited. I was so happy. I was like, we're going to Rome. And then when we got back to the apartment, I was almost like dying inside because I thought to myself, I was like, we're going to be in Rome for 3 days. And I have to fly to Rome. From New York to Rome, it was 12-hour flight. Then from Rome back to New York was another 12-hour flight. And then I was flying back home the next day. So that was another 10-hour flight back to Hawaii. So inside of me, I was like, I really don't want to go to Rome right now. I'm so exhausted. I just want to go home and sleep for like 2 days. So inside, I'm like, oh my God, I feel so horrible that I don't want to go to Rome. But legit, we were told that we were going to New York Fashion Week. We had to go back to the apartment and pack. We were leaving to Rome the next day. We were so exhausted. We had to go and film. We got to Rome in the morning at 7 o'clock. We had to film till like 1 o'clock. If you look at our faces,
7 a.m.
like,
to 1 a.m.?
Yeah, to 1 p.m.
Yeah, okay.
We were jet lagged. If you look at our faces, we're actually like tired. We were in the van like half sleeping.
If you look close, you'll see some clear tape holding up people's eyes.
We just, our food, we never touched it because we just didn't want to eat. We wanted to sleep. Yeah. We were just like picking at our food. We just wanted to crash. Like we were on something else. Like
just running on fumes.
By that last, like at 1 o'clock hit, we were done filming. We just wanted to go back to our hotel and sleep. Like we were on a different time zone and everything. So we went to Rome and we got to sleep for, I think, a whole day, or we got up the next day at like 8 o'clock to start filming again. And we were walking around I think it was a Trevi fountain. That one wasn't filmed. And it was a time where we just got to sit down and relax. And a producer and a cameraman was around. And we asked him to take our picture because we had no phones. When you go into filming, if you don't know like reality TV or just a competition like this, you get everything taken away from you.
The whole entire time?
The whole time.
You can't like check a notification every week or whatever.
I think this generation could never understand this. No, you could not have your cell phone, computer. You couldn't even have pictures, like printed pictures, no artwork, no book. Nothing.
What, they just have you sit in your room, stare at the ceiling?
Yes. There was no artwork in your room at all. We had a window with the view that was our art. Like we used to look out the window. We looked like cats looking out the window. We knew how that felt. Yeah. Like you get stripped of everything because that's inspiration that you can pull and will help you through the competition.
So specifically for this show?
For this show.
Okay.
Or for any type of like art show. I believe for like cooking shows as well too.
Really?
And then you get, I've never gone to drug rehab, but I feel like that's what it feels like because your whole suitcase gets rummaged through to make sure that you don't have any of that. No books, no nothing to. Not even any tools, which is like sewing tools got looked through. Like if you had a pair of scissors.
Yeah.
Like one time I went back with a pair of shears that I usually have around my neck and I went back to the room by accident with it. And producers saw me back in the room with it. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, so I took it right off and I made sure, like I let them know, I was like, I'm not doing nothing with this. Like I came with it. So I had to be on camera coming back into the workroom with it to make sure that it looked consistent.
Oh, okay.
But you can't have any of that. And then they they call it, I think it's masking or something. So they cover everything that has a brand on it. I think somebody even brought clothing that had her label on it. They had to cover all of that out, or they pulled it. So they sent her to H&M to buy brand new clothing because she didn't have anything to wear. All of that kind of stuff gets stripped away from you. So you don't have anything to take a picture. And we were at the Treviso, back to Rome, and we're enjoying ourselves, and we're sitting on the wall, and we're just looking around, and we ask one of the producers, we're like, oh, can you take our picture? We're here enjoying ourselves, whatever. And the guy was like, why do you need a picture? You have like a whole episode on you guys. Like, that's going to be filmed. It's filmed. Like, all of this is, why do you need a lousy picture? And we're looking at each other like, oh my God, that's right. And then there's like professional photographers taking our photo throughout the whole thing. So we don't need a real like photo from a camera, from a phone. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, did I just go 6 weeks of filming a TV show, and what just really happened? And that's when it clicked in my head, like, wow, I just filmed and I made it all the way this far, and I'm going back home and I'm creating a collection for New York Fashion Week. That's when it like really clicked in my head that I made it this far, and I filmed a TV show. And everything's going to be real when I get back home. And then it really happened when I was on the Hawaiian Airlines flight coming back, and the lady sitting next to me was like quiet the whole time. And then when we landed, she was like, congratulations on everything. And I was like, oh my God. She's like, I was trying to be quiet the whole time, but I knew who you were. And that I didn't know how to react, I guess, being a celebrity or a local celebrity. So we had to go through knowing what that felt like, or being that person as well too. So that was a whole new life for me too.
Were you recognized at all before the show?
No.
So you were just like an upcoming designer. Nobody really knew you besides like your circle. Wow. So that really was your big break.
Yes. Yeah.
Because look at you now.
Exactly. Totally new life.
Wow.
And when we were filming too, it was, I think during our filming, we were, they had announced the cast, and I think we had like 1 or 2 episodes being aired. So when we were around the city, we had to almost be like covered. So they would just like kind of hurry us through vans, like different vans, and just to make sure that they kind of cover up who got kicked off and whatnot. So there's avid fans out there would watch vans to make sure like, oh, who got kicked off the show, and like really watch our whereabouts throughout New York. So they had to like cover all of that up too. And we were in that world, and I didn't even know what was happening. We were like basically in a bubble. And we couldn't be freed at all. I mean, we couldn't even walk down the street when we were in production without a PA with us, or we couldn't even leave our hotel room at all by ourselves. Or we couldn't even leave the hotel at all. We were basically wrangled together, or with production the whole time. So,
that's crazy. Well, what an experience, right? So you finished that season 3rd place. 3rd place, and then you got asked to be on the All-Star season, which you got 2nd place. And how does it feel? Because I've experienced that too, just playing sports all my life, like getting to the championship, like working so hard but not getting 1st place. How did you handle that?
It sucked. It really did. I think in the beginning it really did suck, because I was like, not only for myself, but I was like bringing it home for my family and bringing it home for Hawaii, you know, like inside, like that was what I was like fighting for.
Did you feel extra pressure because of that?
No, I didn't. I think I was just like trying to just be me as well, like bring and show what I could do and bring it to that level. But then at the end, when I was thinking about it, I was like, no, like I went this far, you know, like that's like the sore loser thing to say, but like I went this far in this competition, and not a lot of people can say that, you know, like I
even making it on
the show. Like, look, it took me 6 times to make it, and there's a lot of people who can't say that they did it, you know, or just to be in that production or to go through that whole process. So I think just hearing that, or hearing myself say it, it was like constantly telling myself like, you made it this far. So,
And sometimes people who don't win, they still have such a great career, and they use the show and really take the opportunity to build off the momentum of the show too, which you have done. And I watched some clips, and everybody loved you.
Yeah,
they were saying that when they had challenges, everybody wanted to work with you because you sold really fast. You're like the fastest one.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do too, because with production or with Project Runway, they gave you the PR side of it, and you had to make sure you ran with it after. You had to sell yourself, and like coming back from season 13, when you left production, they put you in a cab onto your flight home, and they left you. Like, for 6 weeks, we were wrangled, and we were in this Project Runway bubble. And then after that 6 weeks, we're basically like shoved in a cab, and now you go home and you take care of everything yourself. So it was weird coming out of that bubble, and then now we're just like, oh my God, like, how are we supposed to do all of this stuff on our own? You know,
who's
like,
gonna pick me up from the airport? Who's gonna feed me?
Is there car service coming to pick us up? And now you're like spoiled with all of this stuff.
What am I supposed to do at 3 p.m. today? Somebody got to tell me what to do.
Which is weird because like through that whole experience, you can be kidnapped and you wouldn't even know in production, because they tell you when you come out of your room, you go to van A, B, and C. And these are white vans, and literally it just says A, B, and C on it. And you just go into whatever van they tell you to go to. So it's crazy. Like, when you leave production, it's all up to you to make it worth it, and use that PR or the notoriety after your show to make something of yourself. And something that we didn't have like product. We didn't have a strong like PR team behind me. So we had to build all of that when I came back, and understand what that all entailed. And we built it really fast right when I came back from Project Runway. So
super smart.
Yeah.
So what was your biggest takeaway from the whole experience?
I think the biggest thing was you have to have a core team and core family value that's instilled in you, and hold on to it. And you never want to lose yourself going through a TV show like that. And stick to what you believe in, and make sure that you do have a real like strong core team back at home to help you out with that. Before you even go on something like that, make sure you build your team to help you out, and just make sure that you go through it mentally. They put you through like a psych evaluation too before you go on, and understand that they do that for a reason. And you know, it's a good thing to have like a good head on your shoulders before all of this, because it can get to you mentally and physically as well too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time during the show that your values were questioned, or you had to make a tough decision whether to, you know, kind of plan more into the show side, because you like if I do this, I'll probably get more votes, or it might be like, but then it won't be as culturally acceptable, or some moments like that?
So they try to do that when production or they try to steer a question into that direction, and you know where it's gonna go, and that's when you have to you have to answer with a minimal amount of words, because they can chop things up and make you say things or make you do things that you don't want to say. So you have to just watch what you're saying, or watch how you're saying it. A lot of the times when I was in workroom, I was finished way before a lot of people. So a lot of times they would catch me just staring off, or like sitting there with nothing to do. And they would chop that up as me looking at other people's work, but I was literally just staring, like not doing anything.
So you ever see those memes with the guy and the girl in bed, and like they're lying down, and the girl's like, he's probably thinking of other women, but the guy's just like, I wonder how many more Super Bowls Tom Brady could have won if he didn't retire.
That was literally me. I was like, oh, when is nap time? Like, But that was me at
Like,
the work table.
Kini's plotting how to take over all these other contestants' designs. You're just like, a grilled cheese sandwich sounds really good right now.
Or like when we were, I was like taking a nap one time because I was tired. Like I was done with my work and then I took a nap. But then I had to think about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I'm on the bottom or if they put me, if they don't like my designs, like I have to think about this. Like they're going to say, you took a nap though and you were on the
lazy,
bottom. Like
yes.
you should have thought about that nap because now you're on the bottom. Like, but I was tired. Like I just need to take a nap. So the producers know and the cameramen know, like when I took a nap, they was in there like recording it every single time. Or like when I was sitting there not doing anything, they knew like to get a shot of me just looking around just so they can chop it up. Or you just had to make sure whatever you're talking about, it wasn't mean or malicious. It was just honest to what you're trying to say. And it was directed to the design itself and not the person. You're there to, as I was saying before, this is a reality show, but if you're there clearly for design, then you have to critique design. And if they're asking about that, then you have to critique or talk about the design, not the person. And I think that's where my values came in. And I was like, I'm going to talk about the person. It's clearly just critiquing the design, not the person. Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't it weird being filmed and under the spotlight and it's like you're under a microscope the entire time? Like, is that weird?
It was weird. I think from the first time it was really weird having a camera in front of you. I think till today it's weird having a camera in front of me. As you guys know,
Yeah.
I don't talk too much.
Well, you're a reality star. You're supposed to shine in front of the camera.
But I got really comfortable. I think people get comfortable with whatever they're really good at. They get really comfortable in front of the camera. So if you're a professional at what you're doing, then a camera can be shoved in your face and you can do whatever. So I think it was like day 2 when the camera was there, I just kind of tuned it out, or it was just kind of there. And it was so funny because whenever I would sew or a cameraman would come to film me sewing, I would be running in the opposite direction already because they would come to film me and I would be done sewing.
Because you're so fast.
Yeah. And they would be like, oh my gosh, Kini, can you just fake it? Or I'd tell them, be like, I'm going to go and sew in the sewing room in a little bit. If you want to just prep yourself, you can go in there. And then I'm going to just meet you in there.
Like
Like,
the
okay, thank you
flash
for
of
letting me
sewing.
know. But that's how it would be. Like, I would just try to sew something, or it'd be like 2 seconds of me sewing. They would just like, I would see them setting up the camera, like, or setting up the stool, and they would get the shot. Like, they would be almost ready to get the shot, and I would be running out of the room, like, doing something else. And they would hate it. Like, oh my God, Kini, like, we set this all up to get the shot, and we only got 2 seconds of it. But I would like warn, like, there was a certain time where we're not supposed to talk to them, but we got to be friends, and I would just let them know, like, I'm gonna be sewing in there to get the shot that you guys want. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Did seeing the camera make you act in a certain way, either maybe a little bit more reserved or kind of think like, oh, I'm being filmed, I have to do something cool?
No, because we don't know what's gonna be edited out or put in.
Yeah, but if you see a camera, at least for me, I'm like, okay, I gotta do something cool. It's like you're jumping into the water. I'm just like jumping regular. Somebody's filming, like, yeah, I gotta do a flip or something now.
No, because we were there. Like, I think we were so involved in our work and trying to get stuff done. Timing was horrible. We had minimal time, and we were legit trying to get stuff done. And people don't really understand how much time we had. We had less than a day to put together a piece and our inspiration to kind of come to life within production. So it really was us trying to work, and cameras sometimes was in the way. And I mean, like, within a day, so when we got our challenge, it was usually by 10 o'clock in the morning. So we're introduced to our challenge by 10. And then we go to Mood and we shop for our fabric. We're back in the workroom by 12 or 1 o'clock. And then we break for lunch. So we don't start working until like 2 o'clock. And then we have to work from 2 to about 10 o'clock at night. So that's only about 8 hours. But within that 8 hours, we have to take an hour break to do an interview. So everybody is equal time. Everybody has to take an hour break to do an interview. Plus, we get another dinner break that everybody has to mandatory take 30 minutes to do a dinner break. So it's equal. And that's only, 7.5 hours or 6.5 hours of work time to do one look. And then we have to come back in the morning the next day to work on, that's day 2. And we only have maybe 4 or 5 hours to work on it until it's judging on stage. So we maybe only have I want to say 14 or not even 11 hours of work time. So we're legit trying to get stuff done to make sure it looks good on television. We're getting judged not only by the judges in front of us, but the world looking at all of this. So we're trying to get work done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where would you say you get your style from? What is your inspiration?
I think mainly it's how my upbringing, and now I'm trying to I think every day it's trying to incorporate my culture and how I can kind of weave that within every collection, and kind of learn what that is, or try to make sure that I honor that as well too. And just how my family and what we would want in everything that I do, I think that's always in the back of my mind. It's almost like a criticism that they get, or I ask myself what would they want, or what would they say about it. But that's kind of the inspiration, and it can come from anywhere. I think it can come from a feeling. It can come from an object, anything that's kind of in my mind during that time, or it's a color that I'm liking at that moment. So whatever we feel during that time, we'll put it on a mood board, and then if it all makes sense, that's what we build that collection off of.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what was the mood today when you were getting dressed? You decided I want to wear green.
Well, I wanted to be something. I wanted to wear something bright and for summer. So that was this, and this is our part of our summer collection. So it's our La'i collection.
Oh, I love it. The green jacket on top, really complements it.
But I wanted to be something bright, and because of because wearing our La'i collection and our new collection. So
okay,
yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't have that type of fashion sense where I gotta wear something bright because it's summer. I'm just let me choose between my same 3 shorts, or it's really surf shorts, regular shorts, depending where I'm going, and then I like to wear surf shorts more, but some of them don't have pockets. So if I need to go out somewhere, I need pockets. So I need to wear something like this. And then I'm let me just grab a shirt so I could promote this thing today. That's
any shirt.
I'm not thinking of the mood or whatever. Yeah, and then of course, what am I gonna wear on my my feet? Local slippers. That's all. It's one choice. That's all. So that's how my brain works.
No, but I think some people don't really take that into consideration, because you wear it, you pick the shorts because it's comfortable. But I think people don't think about that as well too. Some people use it as an armor. Some people use clothing as an accessory. Some people view it as a comfort as well too.
Or a way to express themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think clothing can be someone's personal style, and it's great sometimes to see our collection used in a different way. I may view it this way, and when I see my collection being styled in a different way, I love to see it. Not being used how I see it is great.
Yeah, just like me wearing Manaola's board shorts in the lo'i.
Yeah, exactly. But that's how maybe it was intended, in the ocean, and it can be used in the lo'i as well.
Yeah.
Multi-purpose.
That's so interesting to think about how other people view their fashion and why people like you're wearing this because it's like, oh wow, I think that would look really nice, and then I could wear something thinking like, oh, this is just really comfortable.
Yeah.
But we could be wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
But for different reasons.
Exactly.
Super interesting. Yeah. Okay, well, let's take a break real quick. I need to take a shishi break because of the shakati.
Got it.
How have you been enjoying it?
Oh, this is good.
Have you tried it before?
Good. No, I haven't. This is amazing.
Maki tea, really good for you.
Yeah.
0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 carbs. Maki is really awesome
need to be
for your health
living
as well.
a better lifestyle. So,
what is your go-to drink?
like alcoholic drink.
Well, we're straight to alcohol.
This is gonna be great with some vodka.
I think they did some mixed drinks before. I saw a video. Check them out. Drink Shakati on Instagram.
This tastes good.
Yeah, they got a lot of different flavors. I just love it because it's 0 calories.
Yeah,
I can drink it while fasting.
I can drink this.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll take a break and we'll come back with our new game that I just created, presented by Texaco Hawaii.
Got it.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, we're back from a quick shishi break. Thanks again to our drink sponsor, Shakati, for providing the best quality shishi out there. I don't think they've heard me say that once on this podcast, so hopefully they just never hear me say that, and I can continue to say it because I love saying it. And it's true. I really mean it. All right, so let's get into a new segment called Gas or Pass, presented by Texaco Hawaii. Okay, so I guess one of the things the kids are saying these days is like, oh, that's gas. That's like cool. It's dope, whatever it is. That's from my understanding, okay?
Okay.
I'm trying to keep up. I try to learn from my younger brother. He's just turned 21. So he knows all the lingo. Some stuff he says, I'm like, I don't know if people say that, or I don't know if that sounds cool, but whatever. But this is a fun game that I'm going to ask you if something is gas, like that's super cool.
Got it.
Or you pass, like you don't like it. It's like, it's not your vibe. Okay. So we got a bunch of different categories. I got about 20 something, I think. And I'm going to show you pictures. Okay.
Okay.
And then if you're just listening to this, if you go to the visual feed, like on YouTube or Spotify, you'll see pictures pop up on the screen. Okay. Let me go to my album. All right. So first one. Okay. And I got some suggestions from people on Instagram as well. So I'll shout them out. But most of it's just from me. Okay. First one. Crocs. Gas or pass?
Pass. Hard pass. It has to be hard pass. Sorry. Nobody in this room is wearing it.
People love Crocs though. I don't understand it.
I have family, friends, everybody around me wears it. Yeah, I cannot. No. The slipper one is okay. I'm getting used to the Crocs slippers. Yeah.
Okay. I can't do it either.
No.
That's a pass for me. All right. Next one.
Pass for
Yeezys.
me.
Gas or pass?
Pass. It's too much of a fad.
Yeah.
It's a trend.
Okay. So it's not actually cool. It's just it's cool because it's Kanye.
Exactly.
Okay. Or Ye.
Pass.
Or Yeezy. All right. Okay.
Because when you look at it too, you know people are just buying it because it looks like a trend, or they can resell it or something.
Like, do people actually think that looks cool?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pass.
Yeah, it's a pass for me. All right. Next question. This comes from Corey Nazara _. Oh my gosh, where is it? Where's my...
You actually bought it?
Oh, my slippers is over there. Okay. Well, I was just going to say local slippers. We know what local slippers look like.
That's...
Be honest.
That's gas. That's a gas. It's gas.
It's gas?
It's gas.
Yeah.
It's gas. Yeah. With the right look, it's gas.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
The local slippers specifically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta be locals though.
Locals. All right, so that's gas. Local slippers, gas. Okay.
With
Next.
board shorts, board shorts, tank top.
What about with pants?
Yeah. No.
Because that's like one of my things. It's like
I know.
Pants and local slippers.
No, shorts. Gotta be with shorts.
So gas on the shorts, pass on the pants.
Yeah, with pants.
I'll keep that in mind. I won't listen to you, but I'll keep that in mind. So for the Hawaii swim show, the one they did in Big Island, Kalia Watson.
Yes.
So she invited me, and it was like a black tie event, whatever. I'm really against wearing shoes, and I love to express myself, because slippers is how I express myself. So I found house slippers. at my brother's house in the Big Island. It was his mother-in-law's one. So I wore those black house slippers to the fashion show. I don't think anybody noticed because it kind of looked trendy.
It looks like what do you call it? Like slip-ons. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So slippers for life. Okay, next question.
But then again, you look at my feet. I'm wearing pants with like slides. Like
but that's more fashionable. Yeah. It's thicker, so I feel like it adds more to the pants, the look. Whereas like slippers, like the locals, it's really it's thin.
Slippers.
Yeah. So it's like to wear that with pants is I get it too, but I'm comfortable with that. I rock it.
But then again, it's your personal style.
Yeah, exactly.
Express your
you can like it or you don't have to like it. Okay, next one. Socks with slippers.
Pass. That's a hard pass. Not with local slippers.
No.
Pass.
Jordan?
Pass.
Socks with slippers? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're just being nice with the locals. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Okay, maybe you probably have a better opinion on this. This comes from Leo Lani on Instagram. Printed and not woven palaka. Gas or pass?
Printed and not woven.
Yeah. So I guess, I don't know, maybe if you know, there's a difference. I don't really understand it.
Printed and not... Oh, yeah, pass. It has to be woven.
So it does. What's the difference? You can tell?
Yeah, you can tell. There's like a screen printed version of palaka. Yeah.
So the screen printed one, it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But the woven one is like gas.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
How can you tell? Like,
what is it? You can tell like the woven. You can tell like the warp and weft.
Okay.
Threads of it, of how it usually.
Oh yeah,
really
the warp and weft. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. All right, I knew that. Okay. All right. Yeah. next one. All right. Where is it? I lost the kit. Next one. Skinny models, gas or pass?
You know what? We're inclusive. We have to be accepting to all types of models. We don't know what they're going through, so I'm just gonna be neutral on this.
All right.
We don't know. Like it's an inclusive kind of world.
I feel like the reason I bring that up, I feel like the era of skinny models has gone away.
Oh yeah.
And now it's like the inclusivity era.
But then we can't not have them because that's not being inclusive of what they're going through as well too.
Sounds like a catch-22 to me.
Right? So we have to have them on there as well too.
So just everybody.
Exactly.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This next one, I'm going to phrase it a little bit differently because this is how this person left this suggestion on Instagram. This comes from Gonzalo_Marginet. He wants to know, boxers and brief, gas or pass? So I'm going to kind of
and you're gonna
flip
show
the
me
question. Yeah. It's not anybody wearing it. It's just boxers brief. And then I guess there's boxers brief.
What?
So I'm going to have you guess. I mean, not guess. You have to tell me which one you're going to gas and which one you're going to pass.
Well, everybody has different.
Hey, this is just you. I'm a boxers brief kind of guy. That's gas.
Yeah. Boxer brief, gas. Oh, briefs, gas. Boxers, that's like loose, pass.
Loose boxers, pass.
Pass. Yeah.
Okay, and then briefs and boxer brief, gas.
Gas.
All right,
Yeah.
all right, okay. All right,
Like,
next.
what is that supporting?
I don't know. It's just, that's what he wanted to know. He also said he's a big fan of you. Okay, next one from the same person. So you have to tell me which one you're gonna gas and which one you're gonna pass.
Got
Okay,
it.
Italian or French designers. So which one you're gonna gas, which one you're gonna pass.
Pass on Italian and gas on French.
Okay.
If I have to choose?
Yeah, if you have to choose.
Yeah.
Not saying that you would pass on either. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just like Italian. I mean,
French.
French a little bit more than Italian.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the?
Yeah.
I don't know what style is, so you could.
Well, Italian is a little bit more eccentric, like over the top, like Versace,
Okay.
D&G, yeah, and then Dior.
Buca di Beppo. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next question, or next topic. I don't know what are these called. Topics, things, suggestions. Okay. This is Hawaii kind things. All right. Matching aloha wear for couples, gas or pass?
Gas.
Gas?
Gas. Yeah.
Okay. Do you like the same top, or like I like the top for the guy, bottom for the girl, kind of like
Or
offsetting?
The
like
matching
a dress?
that I like is like maybe matching print, different color. Like
Nice.
the same family.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
Okay.
I think working with the same style too, or like inspiration, that can be like what I like as like matching.
Okay.
So like maybe the same print and like color variation, like that can be a good like matching set too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Matching aloha wear for families.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Like I think that's a pass too, or that's a gas too. But if it's like different colors too, I think like working with it where you wear like different color variations of the same print.
Okay, but it has to be like a local brand, not the kind like you see the tourists come in with their ABC store.
No.
Shirt.
No. We're trying to change all of that.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
When you define what aloha wear looks like or Google it, it needs to be changed. And what the first search history looks like, it needs to be like one of the local brands. So, yeah, we need to change that.
I support. All right. People moving to Hawaii, gas or pass?
Pass. Pass. Hard pass.
What if they come here and they're doing good though?
What kind of good, and what's that definition of good? And if it's, what is the understanding and what the intention is as well too.
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
I mean, preferably just let us live our life here.
Exactly.
Stay where you're at.
Yeah.
But if you do end up coming here, some advice, just what is your intention?
Yeah.
That's
and making sure that intention is meant well.
Yeah. Okay. Next one, right? This is a tough one, right? Lifted Yoda plus gold chain combo. Gas or pass?
Oh my gosh. Gas. That's gas.
That's gas?
Yeah. That's gas.
What do you drive?
I drive a SUV, like a small SUV, a red SUV. I'm good.
But the lifted
But
Yoda,
hello,
that's
I'm wearing
gas.
a gold
You got the
chain,
gold chain.
like-
You got one half of the combo. Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Okay.
When you look at my styling, sometimes I have like huge gold chains, so I love all of that. I love that gaudy stuff.
All right. Awesome. All right. We're going to get into some food and drinks, all right? Natto, gas or pass?
Pass. I cannot do that.
Yeah.
People who do that, good for you. Like, how do you? Have you? Do you?
No. I tried it once. It's the slime. I can't do it.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a friend that would always order this at Genki Sushi. And I felt like she was doing it as a joke, but I guess they actually like, some people actually like it. It might be like a acquired taste or something.
I mean, I'm one of those Hawaiians that I can't eat. I don't eat fish too. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so this next one is interesting, all right? All right, fat. This comes from Kuakaloa _Robinson, my little brother. He wants to know, fat in Lau Lau, gas or pass?
My mom knows this question. I'm gonna lie. I pass. I like a little bit of fat. She knows because I always take it out in sheets. I like a little bit of fat. Fat.
I think
that's way too much, though.
The ratio has to be good.
Yeah.
I think it's good for the flavor and that oiliness, but too much is a pass.
Too much. That picture that you just showed me, that's way too much.
Yeah, too much. This amount of fat is gas, not the good kind.
Yeah, that's way too much.
Okay, next one.
That's the kind you sneak in. Like, make sure you put an X on top of the foil. Like, that's mine.
Okay, sushi from 7-Eleven, gas or pass?
Pass.
Have you had it before?
At the ones that I had, pass. Because majority of the time, it's like hard rice. You gotta get it at certain ones.
Certain ones? We like the hand rolls.
Yeah, the hand rolls.
The hand rolls.
Those are good.
We gas that.
Yeah, but not the ones that you're showing me in the picture.
Okay.
That one is a pass.
Go somewhere else.
Hand roll sushi at 7-Eleven. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next one.
Yeah.
Shaka tea. Gas or pass?
Gas. This is gas.
Gas. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Cheers to gassing Shaka tea.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm using that correctly, like gassing things.
No.
No, you gas things up, right? Like
you gas. Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah. All right.
We're getting this.
We're so cool.
We're using this right.
Oh, we're so cool.
You got it.
All right. Next one. Tattooing your last name on your back or chest. Gas or pass?
Oh my gosh. Pass.
Really?
Pass.
Really? Would you say that in front of Max Holloway?
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
No. Gas. Total gas. Gas. You're holding a gun to my head. Gas.
So pass on everyone but Max Holloway.
Yeah.
Gas Max Holloway. All right. Next one. TikTok dance moves. Gas or pass?
Oh my gosh. I give them gas. I give them
really?
props for learning that. Yeah. That's some hard stuff to learn. Yeah.
Okay.
Gas.
All right.
And the courage to do that in front of a lot of people.
Yeah,
Like,
I
some
never
people,
thought of it like that.
They just do it in front. Like, they have no shame in
in front of public. They set up their tripod.
Yeah.
That is true. Respect.
That's gas.
That's gas.
Yeah.
That's gas. All right. Anime, gas or pass?
Gas.
Gas.
Yeah.
Are you an anime person?
And I used to be, or I
nice.
watched Naruto some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. People love that. All right. So this last category is a very special category, right? It's kamaka. All right. So I'm just gonna show you things from my life, and you're gonna tell me if it's gas or pass, all right? Because I like to think I'm the coolest person in the world. All right. So first one, okay.
Now you're putting me on the spot.
First one, nunchucks. Gas or pass?
Gas. That is, if you know how to do that.
Yeah, basic. Like I learned when I was in Madagascar. Here, I don't know if I have room here, but here I'll go. Do you trust me? Do you trust me?
Yeah.
Look, see,
okay.
I can swing it. It's really hard to do it sitting down, but right there.
Got it.
To a certain extent, I could do better if I was standing up.
I believe you.
Yeah. You want me to do it right in front of you? I can stand up and
I believe you. You put that away.
Okay, you want to hold it? You want to touch it?
I believe you. I believe you.
Fine,
you can put that away.
After. I'll teach you how after the podcast.
Okay.
You don't have to beg. I got you. Don't worry. All right. Next one. All right. So in Madagascar, I grew out my hair, I cut it, then I grew it out again, and when I grow it out, it comes to like this kind of like, I have Japanese hair, yeah, so it's like this falls down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I realized that I look like a certain someone in this picture, so I took a picture of my nunchucks. All right. So I just want to tell me if this picture is gas or pass. All right. Gas or pass? Bruce Lee nunchuck look.
Total gas. That's
total gas.
Yeah.
That's gas.
Yeah.
Jordan, that's gas.
That's gas.
That's gas. Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. This next one, all right?
You would win. Like, didn't they have like Comic-Con like recently?
Oh, yeah. See, I got to grow my hair out so I can do Comic-Con. All right. So when I was also in the Peace Corps, I had this certain look because my hair was getting long, and a bunch of girls in my group, they curled it. All right. And I call this look the Harry Styles. All right. Gas or pass?
Who is that?
That's
Who
me.
is that?
That's me.
That is not you.
That's
that looks
me.
like a filter on you.
That's me with my hair and facial hair.
That is not
That's
you.
me.
Jordan, that is not him.
That's me. That's Harry Styles. Look, everybody go to YouTube and check out this picture that's on the screen. That was me.
That looks like a TikTok filter that you put on
Is
somebody.
that a TikTok superstar, you think? Should I grow that back out? So gas or pass?
But that's gas.
That's gas.
Yeah.
That's some nice hair.
That's
nice hair, right?
That's like a rock star. That looks like... You
can be honest. You can be honest.
A rock star. Like, legit, that is not you. Give me that.
He's saying that's not you because I don't look like a rock star today, huh?
That is
He's like, that
you.
local slippers shorts boy is not a rock star today.
This boy does not look like he uses slippers with this pants. He looks like he uses Vans. He looks like he uses your Vans, Jordan.
Yeah,
This does not look like you. Oh my god,
that was me back in the days.
See, you could play two truths and a lie.
Yeah, see, yeah. I'd win on that game. Yeah, I had many different lives. All right, okay. This next one is me during Halloween with my friend a couple years ago. Okay, this is my favorite Halloween costume ever. We went through Waikiki, and we got a lot of attention for this. All right, gas or pass?
Hard pass.
Hard.
Come on.
Look at that. Look how I fill out that dress. He's looking at a picture of me in a dress with a cane with a gray wig.
Oh my god.
And my grandma's Jesus slippers. Look at the Jesus slippers though.
G-slips. Oh my god.
Look at the slippers. Let me zoom in on this.
That's not even G-slips. That's like the Jordan slippers.
It's Jesus slippers, right? All right, well, I'll just pretend like I heard gas on that one. Okay, I think this is the last one and then we're done with the game. All right? Okay. This is my old look back in like the early college days, like 2011 to 2013, okay? Faux hawk with the pierced earrings, gas or pass?
Oh, that's gas.
That's gas.
Yeah.
My brother always teases me about that. My older brother, he's always like, "Come on, why'd you have a faux hawk and pierce your ears?" That was the look back in the day. Between that era, it was the faux hawk.
Yeah.
The faux hawk was in. That used to be so. I just took you through memory lane for me.
That was like, you're a chameleon. Like,
Yeah.
That's totally
A
different
gas
looks.
chameleon. Yeah. All right. Well, mahalo, Kini, for joining us on Gas or Pass, presented by Texaco Hawaii. Make sure you check them out and get their Techron feel. It's the best on the planet. Also, don't fact check me. That I don't know if that's the best on the planet, but to me, it's the best on the planet. All right. So we're coming to the second half of the podcast. We're passing on through. We're running out of gas here. Okay, I like
Shaka
that.
tea.
Yeah, we need a refill from Shaka tea. That was a lot more ridiculous than I thought it would be. I'm sorry to all the people that watched that.
Kamako brought us through memory lane.
Yeah, dude. I was just throwing stuff out there. All right, it'll get better. That was the first time doing it. Okay, I could bring back my nunchucks if you want.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You can show me after.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So I like to ask my guests on the podcast, what does Keep It Aloha mean to you? That's the name of our podcast. That's one of the things that I like to have in my life, is always trying to keep it aloha.
I think aloha for me is staying true to who you are and sharing that with whoever or whatever your encounters in your life is. Having the opportunity for me to travel or to get to be on the show and sharing that with the world, I think that was one thing that I wanted to stay true to myself, and what my family taught me growing up. And being able to share that, I think that's the aloha that's within all of us growing up here. And being able to kind of show the world that this is something that we grow up with, and we get to kind of teach everyone as well too, that, you know, this is our lifestyle, but we can share it and you guys can learn from us as well. And that's kind of like the aloha spirit that I like to just let other people know as well too.
Mm-hmm. And you do that through your fashion
and clothing,
just your living life and all of that.
Yeah.
What is let me rephrase this. How do you keep it aloha in times where it's hard to show that aloha, like somebody's doing something really disrespectful or rude, and how are you able to just choose aloha over anger?
Anything. Just keeping aloha within. My mom always told me, you know, all of this in this world isn't important. The main thing is what's right now and who's in it right now, which is the family and the experiences that we're living in. So the kind of the the material world is gonna be gone. So don't worry about that. If it's affecting your material world, don't worry about it. And your emotional side is more important. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. And that's always something that I've always kind of lived by. And that's what keeps me calm all the time, is there's always another option. and we're always more like proactive rather than reactive to anything that I do. Just coming up with more solution-based things. If ever there's a problem, there's always going to be something to solve that problem. I always think of anytime we're doing like a fashion show, everybody always asks me like how I'm so calm, or why can I just relax during a fashion show? It's just a show for me. It's just a fashion show. It's just stuff. You know, we're just showcasing stuff. Even though it's art for me, even though it's, you know, something, it's creative that I'm showing people, it's just stuff. You know what I mean? So it can all disappear tomorrow. But the people that's in it, that's going to be forever. So that's the experience that I want to keep and make sure that everybody is still good. Yelling at someone that's going to hurt their feelings will always stick with them. So we want to make sure that we take care of that and make sure that never happens. So I always make sure that I never make someone feel less than or make someone hurt because of it. So it's always the physical world or the material world will always disappear, but then the person or the emotional side will always carry on. So
for sure. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think one of the things that we learned in the Peace Corps, our country director shared a quote from Maya Angelou, which I'm paraphrasing here. Like, people will forget what you said, they'll forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And, you know, that goes to the good and the bad, right? If you yelled at somebody, you said something really mean, you know, years later, they might forget exactly what you said, but they'll remember that feeling of sadness that you made them feel during that time. If, you know, you had a really good time with somebody, like we do this podcast, and like years later, I totally forgot everything we said, but I remember, it was really fun with Kini. We were laughing. I had such a good time. I remember how we felt in that moment. So I think that's so big is, you know, you got to think about the things that you do and leading with Aloha, because like I said, people will forget the stuff you do. They'll forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Yeah.
And I think that's why, like, whenever I create something too, or whenever we do a custom piece, or when someone comes and they shop with us, we want to make sure that it's not just a item that they're purchasing. We want to make sure when they're leaving, they feel a certain way as well too. We want to make sure that they're feeling the same way outside as they do inside too. That they're wearing it and they're feeling that same experience. They feel really good outside and inside. They're walking out of my studio, you know, they have to spend a certain amount, but then they're walking out of there like feeling good about spending that amount, and with that whole experience, you know, that they want to come back and they want to experience it again, you know.
Awesome. Do you ever feel pressure to represent our culture, or even like your, you know, your Hawaiian and Filipino, right? Like represent that side in a certain way throughout your fashion?
I feel more and more now, but I'm learning that every single day. What does that look like? And how do we define that? And I feel like it's always a struggle how much Hawaiian that we have to show within, or are we Hawaiian enough? You know, that's always the debate. And how can we appreciate it, you know, way more? I don't speak Olelo at all, but I wish I do. And, you know, my family is there. I have nieces and nephews who do, and they're going through Hawaiian language school, which is great that we can offer that as well. So, you know, I always go to them if I need something that's needs to be translated into Hawaiian, or I want to learn something that is, or that I want to learn in Hawaiian. And it's always that debate, but I'm still learning till today how I can incorporate that. One opportunity that I love to share is when I got to do the work with the Iolani Palace to do the recreation for the Queen Kapiolani coronation gown.
Really cool.
And that was one thing that I could really, you know, go back into our Ali'i past and look at all these photos and recreate something that was done in the past and it was done in London and recreated all here in Hawaii. So that was something that, you know, was great for people to see, that was great and could be done here, you know. And that's something I always still struggle with today. Like, is that Hawaiian enough too? But I think we should all think about that as Hawaiian people. Like, if we're Hawaiian, we create things, it should be Hawaiian, you know, going forward. If we invent something, it's an invention by a Hawaiian person. So it's Hawaiian, you know.
That's a great way to think of it.
So I think that's something that could be modernized as well too, you know. But we're still honoring our past by, you know, doing the research and living that life as a Hawaiian, you know. And what does that look like?
Okay. So what you're saying, I think, is if I make these nunchucks and I start swinging it around, and these are Hawaiian nunchucks, and even though that the origin of this isn't Hawaiian, I am making it Hawaiian despite holding it.
No, we can learn about this after.
Oh, okay.
Put the nunchucks
Did I totally
yeah.
just miss the point?
You didn't invent the nunchucks.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, but I'm Hawaiian, so it's like Hawaiian nunchuck. Well, like, what if I made it from sticks and is it Hawaiian nunchucks?
You have to invent the nunchucks from the period.
Pico Pao. All right. Sorry, I got sidetracked. My bad.
You're still trying to go back to the nunchucks.
All right. We'll focus. We'll move on.
As like a Hawaiian, you have to it's like a Hawaiian inventing something brand new.
Oh, okay. That's what you meant. All right.
You know, like, what is that? And that would be Hawaiian, you know. Like, I think that's how we have to modernize us and the Hawaiians going forward too, you know.
Okay.
But we're still honoring it by, you know, doing Hawaiian practices too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like in fashion, for example, and I guess somewhat music, everything's been like, a lot of things have been done. A lot of things that you see that are new these days are kind of taken from things in the past.
Yep.
You know, beats or certain looks, you know, jackets, shoes, shirts, whatever it is, dresses. So trying to bridge the gap of the past and the future, is that ever I mean, we talked about it. It's always a struggle. But how do we do that?
I think we do that by doing the research, by, you know, looking at our past as what we've done before or what our people have done before, and making sure that we understand why they did certain things as far as clothing, as far as print, and making sure that we look to their inventions as well and honoring that side. I mean, look at our kapa makers. Look at the process that they went through. Look at the people who did the capes, and the process that they had. They had people who gathered the feathers, who did wrap the feathers, and then the people who wove the feathers to make the cape. So there was like process, and all these people that wore different hats to create one cape. But just looking back at that, that's all inventors of these different things. But when we're looking at now modernized Hawaiians, what are we doing to create a new vision as like Hawaiian creators? Now we're doing, you know, we create our own prints, we create our own styles in the modern future, and we create things on different cloths. And that's what we're doing to kind of move forward as well too, while looking at what we've done in the past as well.
Okay, so like taking the best of both worlds. Instead of shying away from, oh no, that's too traditional, that's too modern. Why don't we just combine it and work together?
Exactly.
I agree. I think that's the future of everything, for sure. Okay, so I know you have something really exciting coming up in Utah.
Yes.
Right? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we have a show in Utah on July 29th. We're showing with 10 other designers around the Pacific, and we're showing our 2024 spring collection. Anybody in Utah, please come out to the show. And you can go on to utahpacificfashion.com to get more information and get tickets for that show. And this collection is an inspiration by... the inspiration for this collection is kind of pulling from fantasies that, you know, if our ali'i was still alive till today, they would be on a summer vacation in New York City. So it's Park Avenue Princess, and our Princess Kaiulani's daughter would be on a vacation, and they would go to their summer house in New York, and they would have an apartment in Park Avenue, and they would pull all their clothes there, and she would need a wardrobe for spring. So that's kind of like the inspiration, and that's how I kind of think about. So that's kind of like the mood, or that's how I pull or get inspiration, is I pull like these fantasy mood boards together for in our next collection that's coming up.
That just made me think of like a really cool TV show or something. What if there was like a cartoon or anime that took like all our past monarchs or like historical people in Hawaiian history and like put them in today's world? That would be super cool, actually.
Or just like the people that was living at that time too, like what would they be wearing in that now, you know, like taking what they've worn and kind of just modernizing it to now, like what they had to wear, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's what keeps you up at night. You're like, I wonder what King Kamehameha III would be wearing at the Nahoku Hanohano Awards this past weekend.
It's like those kind of things kind of like plague my mind, or like I start to think of all these random ideas, like putting all together. Yeah.
So you ever had certain ideas that just weren't good, like you thought were good, and you put it to life? And you're like,
we scrapped some things that is just like, no, it just doesn't make sense at all.
Or what about things that you actually moved for, like a collection, like a certain print you put out there, and you're like, oh, that wasn't as successful as I thought it would be?
No,
or everything you touch is gold.
No, no, we scrap it before it even like moves forward.
Okay,
from
so
the
you
mood
know.
board. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I guess that's why you're a professional at this.
Like we go through like our creative meetings, and like as a standard for us, or as a designer, we design collections seasons in advance, or like a year in advance. So we have a creative meeting, and we know exactly what we're going to be doing right now, up into next year. So when people see stuff, we see it. We've been seeing it for the past like 6 months. And we've been working on it with like mood boards and colors. So we see all of these things, and we know when to scrap it and when not to have it. And we've kind of been like really looking at it way too much. And that's kind of like where our team is at right now. And when you see other designs too, I'm sure other designers are in the same level too, where they're like looking at a collection for a year in advance too. And their inspiration has been sitting there for a long time as well. Yeah.
Cool. What is some advice that you want to give to somebody who wants to get into fashion or to create their own collection, kind of do what you're doing?
I think the beginning for anybody, they like to follow what is trending now and like fall into that. But I think just staying true or being more creative. I always tell the young designers to just be creative, and the followers will come after. Because we need more creative people, or just kind of out of the box people. But they tend to worry about the followers and not worry about their creativity. So just be more creative.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about advice for somebody who's trying to find their voice, their style, kind of their identity as a designer or even as a person, you know?
Just stick to it. I think finding themselves, it's within trial and error, and it may seem repetitive, or you may seem like you're a one-trick pony, but that's something that you are strong at. I like to tell other people or business owners that if you are in it for the long haul and a longevity in your company and see yourself as a brand, don't put everything all in one basket or one collection at one time. Save it for the 5 or 10 years that you see your company running. Wait for that 10 years. Don't just launch everything at one time, then you'll see your brand really grow throughout that 10 years, and you see kind of where your niche is, and you'll see yourself where you want, or you'll see yourself and your style kind of change as well too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. So after all this is said and done, and you keep creating, you keep building your legacy, how do you want to be remembered? And think about it like this, like, we never saw you again. You went into the wrong bus. It was bus E, and they said A, B, and C only, but you went in E. They kidnapped you. We never ever saw you again. Glenda has to say, like, this was Kini. Like, this is how we remember his legacy. What do you think she would say? And what do you want her to say?
I went to a class where Kamaka taught me how to play with nunchucks, and it landed on my head.
All right, maybe I painted the image too much. I went too far with this.
I went on a bus to go to his class.
Fashion icon Kini Zamora disappears after going to a nunchuck class provided by community leader Kamaka Dia.
No, I think I want people to remember me as someone who, or a fashion designer that was creative and that shared a lot of information with the next generation, and that didn't hold back on what he was creating. For me, it's always like teaching the next generation what I knew or what I know, with like having our internship program or teaching the next generation the opportunities or the resources that we have here, because that was something that I had to learn on my own, and something that I can make it easier for the next generation. Yeah.
Do you think if you had more mentorship or people to help you in the beginning, you would have been where you're at faster?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think if people were a lot more open to teaching and training in my generation, I think it would be a lot more easier.
But do you think you'd still be the same person without all that struggle and hardship?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it takes having the right support at home, and your upbringing as well too. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what time of the day do you get your best work done as a creative? I feel like a lot of creatives do it late at night, but I think I saw an interview you're a morning person, right?
I'm more in the morning. Like I wake up like at 6 o'clock in the morning, get all my work done by like 12, 1 o'clock. And that's between like 6 and 2 is like my creative time. Yeah.
And then you're just free for the day. You just...
Oh, no. I'm a workaholic where you'll see me on the sewing machine almost every single day. I'm juggling different things where I'm on the computer doing one thing. ADHD where I'll be doing social media stuff or tackling social media stuff, sewing one time, cutting, helping customers, doing a fitting. My schedule is crazy where people might think I'm lying one time because I'm supposed to be doing something and doing something else. Yeah.
And you probably have a lot of people hitting you up. Like how do these collabs happen? I see a lot of celebrities, local celebrities here, musicians, people on TV, whatever, always wearing your stuff, tagging you. And do they reach out to you or you reach out to them? How does that work?
It's more of a friendship. I think when we collaborate with each other, we reach out to each other, and I like to build a friendship with them to understand what their vibe or what their look that they're going for. Whenever I'm dressing someone, I want to make sure that they feel comfortable, one, and I'm not changing what their look is. So I always say this, I never want to change somebody. It's all about growth. So whenever we go into a meeting, their first meeting is always just like a lunch just to understand what their vision is. So whenever I'm designing something, I want to make sure that they're feeling comfortable with whatever I'm creating. Like just say for example, you, like I wouldn't put you in like dress shoes because knowing that you love to wear slippers. So I would design something around that, you know, like making sure that they feel comfortable. But then if they want to wear something totally different than we would, but just letting them know that, you know, this is what comes with it, you know, XYZ, like you're going to feel this way. And then majority of the time they change their mind because they know they don't like the discomfort in it. But the bottom line is just making sure that all of my friends or the customers feel comfortable in whatever they're wearing. But they all want to come out of there feeling a certain way. And these collaborations are just like, I want to make sure that these are friends at the end. I make sure they're just feeling good. So I want to make sure they're my friends, period. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
Do you find it difficult at all trying to work with friends like mixing business and pleasure, kind of like, oh yeah, I did this for you, but also you have to pay me, or like, you know, something like that?
No, I think it's understandable. Like now going through it, we've gotten to a level where, like, you know, you have to understand what is business and what is a friendship. And they've respected what I can do for them, and they respect me as well too. And you know, I respect where we are in our relationship, what they can do and what I can do, and I would never do that to them as well too. You know, respecting what their profession is as well.
Okay, super cool.
Yeah.
All right. What is something you wish people knew about you that they don't?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm an open book that I think a lot of people don't, I think, dare to ask. Like I will answer any question whenever I'm out at an event, down to a business question as well too. Like if they need sourcing for something. I think I'm such an open book with anything, even exciting or whatever. So
okay, who did you vote for in the last presidential election?
That's okay. I thought we weren't answering these kind of questions.
Oh, some open book you are.
Where's those nunchucks?
Hey, don't change the subject. This is the one time I don't want to do nunchucks, right? No, yeah, that's cool. I can totally see that. I mean, you went on a reality TV show where your whole life was showcased and you were filmed at all times. So I mean, you kind of had to get used to being under the microscope, you know. And what you share on social media is very authentic. It's you, it's your work, and you know.
I think you have to be like, once that door is broken down, you have to be willing to share all of that. And being this authentic person, it's something that you can't learn, or it's something that you just like have to do, you know. I think it was hard for me and even my team to train me to do. It's hard for me to be in front of the camera, or just on my social media, or to be a certain person on the camera on social media. So whenever I do it, it has to be authentic. Like I can't read a script, or I can't, you know, do an ad that doesn't feel like me. So when my team puts it together, they're like, okay, you have to do this. I'm like, I can't do it like that. Like it's going to feel scripted. So whatever I say, it has to be authentic to how I say it, or whatever I want it to be like.
Yeah. Awesome. You know what's really cool that I was thinking about is that growing up, the fashion, like the Mount Rushmore of fashion for Hawaii and certain things, with like Sig Zane, Aloha shirt for men, Manuhea for women, and they also have men's stuff too. And actually now they have all kind. You're kind of like that second generation leading the way for like Native-Hawaiian designers, because there's people around my age like Lex Breezy, you know, coming up, but like there was really no one. And this is just in my world, in my bubble, you know, like I see people like Manaola,
Yeah.
I said Lex Breezy, some other people. I know I'm missing so many, but you were before them. You kind of led the way.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's so cool that people get
Thank
to
you.
look at you as like that Sig Zane
Yeah.
or Manuheli in your own
Yeah.
world, in your own lane. How does that make you feel?
It's humbling for
Mm-hmm.
me to think of that as well, and I hope that I'm showing that in the right way. You know, Lexi has been a great person in the fashion industry. You know, she's been to HCC as well too. She's doing great things with her company and her nonprofit too. So, you know, just seeing the next generation of fashion designers has just been awesome. And to see this like resurgence of designers coming up has been amazing, that we can do this here. Like what I said in the beginning was, when I got into the show, people still, in that time, which was 8 years ago, in 2015, people still thought that that's all we wore was just like muumuus,
The bright Hawaiian shirts.
yeah, like
Yeah.
what you would Google, you know what I mean? And we're way more than that. Which muumuus are great and they're lovely, but we can design more than that. You know what I mean? So it's nice that we can represent our own self, and we can define that, and we can make that definition our own as Hawaiian designers. So,
Nice.
yeah.
So when you go on Google and you type in Aloha wear or Hawaii fashion,
Yes.
you see actual Hawaiians
Yes,
over
that's what
just
we want.
whatever
Yeah.
they're showing now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that.
We want to
Support.
change that Google search to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
sure
yeah,
it's
that's the
just
goal.
all
Change that Google
Hawaiian,
search.
Hawaiian designers.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. Okay. So we're coming to the end of the podcast, and before we end, I got to know, what is your life hack? I see
Okay.
you have something over
Yes.
there, so I'm guessing that's part of your life hack. I've been
So-
staring at it.
A life hack, it's the easiest thing. You know, every time your string comes undone of your board shorts, your hoodie, or your string off of your gym shorts or whatever, these are the 3 things around your house that you can use to restring your shorts. There's the thing that you can buy off Amazon, but these are the things that you can, like, emergency life hack things that you have, I'm sure, around your house.
Okay.
Which is, 1, a safety pin that you can just string through, and you can string your board shorts or your string right back through.
Okay.
Or if you're in a tight pinch, a bobby pin, all you do is just push it right through. You just like clip it, and then you can string your string right through. Or you just get a piece of tape and you wrap it around really tight, or like multiple times to make it really strong, like like a pin, so you can like make it really thick and like durable, and you can make it super long too, and then you can string it through your hoodie or your pant, but you can make it like
okay.
super long.
Nice.
But these are things that we use as like backstage whenever
Really?
we gotta restring things, or like stuff
You're like,
comes
"Somebody give
undone
me
really
tape, somebody give
fast.
me-"
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, this is how we restring corsets. This has to be on the end of the corset. Or if things get lost, we grab a bobby pin that we have to restring something. We clip it through, and this is how we get stuff like through the
Oh.
cording. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I
Easy
see. Yeah.
things,
When
yeah.
when you were first saying that, I thought like when I have like a loose string hanging off of my shirt,
Oh,
I was like,
no.
I just grab
Yeah.
a scissors and cut it. But now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I have one pair of board shorts where I lost the string. I just used an old like shoelace.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the end. It's just like cut, and it's
So you
like
just put
very
that on
thick.
top.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta tape it.
Put a tape. Yeah.
But
Amazing.
then I have to make it where it's thick enough so it doesn't come back through, right?
Through, yeah.
Okay.
But you can tape it. You can like wrap it around like multiple times to make it like really solid too.
Yeah, I tried. I tried to burn it with a. I don't know what I did. I was like, yeah, this sounds like a good idea.
That's the easiest life hack. I think if you don't know, but those are the easiest things that you have around your house. Like everybody has something like this around your house.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome life hack. Mahalo for sharing that. Okay. Before I get into my last questions, I want to know, what are your future goals, and what besides, like the things coming up, like where do you see yourself in like 10, 15, 20 years? I think just venturing out into different things. Like I said, I'm an open book, so I think sharing my experiences through a book would be nice. And then, teaching whatever I've learned and known to the next generation with like a course as well too, and maybe doing like a sewing school as well. But that's kind of like what I see within the future, and then seeing my company grow. We do have our design studio with like a small storefront, but majority of our sales is online, and growing that online store even bigger, and seeing that reach a lot more people as well too. So that's where I see the future of our brand. Awesome. Just building more and more off of that. Cool. Yeah. Well, one day I'm gonna hit you up for a Kamaka Kini collab when I have to go to some sort of big event. When you get nominated for something, let me know. Yeah. I don't really know what I'd get nominated for, but if I do get nominated for something, then I'll hit you up. Okay, so these are my last fast fave 5 questions, just rapid fire answers. Got it. Favorite design you've made? Oh my god. My rainway dress for Project Runway. Okay. Yeah. Look it up. Favorite vacation destination? Hilo. Hey. Yeah. Represent. How come? It's like peaceful, relaxing, and you can disconnect. Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually going to Kona on Thursday. So. Well, that's the opposite side. But I get to like I love Big Island. Yeah, I love Big Island. Yeah. It is nice. Yeah. Okay. Favorite food to eat? Oh my gosh. Cheeseburgers. Nice. Cheeseburgers, from where? French fries. There's a lot of good places. My mom's homemade. Oh, nice. My mom's. You ever had W&M? They're pretty popular. Yeah. W&M. Chubby's pretty popular these days. I think Chubby's is the best. Yeah. But, are you what do you call it? Shake Shack or oh my god, LA? Oh, like In-N-Out? In-N-Out. I haven't had it enough to really remember how it is. I know probably the last place I've been to is In-N-Out. Yeah. I remember it being good. And I remember it being cheap. Like I got a shake with the thing, and it was pretty cheap. So, and I don't eat fast food here because I don't go to places that aren't local. Oh, okay. So when I go outside of Hawaii, then that's like my time to like eat whatever. Yeah. Shake Shack is like Chubby's. That's why. Okay. I feel like. Okay. Yeah. You got to try it next time. Okay. Yeah. I love burgers. I love burgers and fries and a shake. It's so good. Hard to beat that. Yeah. Especially when you're feeling like a certain mood. I love it. Okay. Favorite way to de-stress? Staycation and going away, like go to the beach. Nice. Yeah. Favorite TV show? The Office. Oh, classic. Nice, classic. And did you watch Parks and Rec as well? Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. Those are the two. I feel like you gotta like if you watch one, you usually watch the other. Yeah. Yeah. But Office or Parks and Rec? Office. The Office. Okay. Awesome. Great show. Shout out to Michael Scott. All right. Well, that's all we have for everyone here today. Mahalo for joining us. That was really fun. I hope you had a good time. Stay for the next 2 hours, and I'll take you through a whole basic tutorial course of how to do the nunchucks and all the moves. Thank you for having me. Yeah. Okay. No, you're not done yet. Okay. So I'll sign you up for my course. It's a free trial period, and it's just like if I go missing after this, you guys know what happened. Remember, you guys heard the podcast about 30 minutes before this. Cut this part out. Nah. So Is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap up?
No, thank you so much. I think you are doing an amazing job as well too. I've heard a bunch of your other podcasts too, and I think what you're doing for the community is amazing. Keep up the great work, and thank you for having me.
Yes, definitely. Where can we find you?
You can go to kinizamora.com or head to our Instagram at Kini Zamora Official or Designer Kini.
Okay, right on. Well, mahalo, Kini, for joining us on the Keep It Aloha podcast. Spread love, be kind to one another, and mahalo for listening to us today. We have a new episode every Thursday, so make sure you follow us and leave a review. I'm your host, Kamaka, and remember to always keep it aloha. All right, so I'll show you this one move, right? Okay, so you got to go like this, and then you come right over there.
Ready? Those look legit real.
They're from Madagascar.